Now he's the main supervillain of the realm, and he controls what everybody else does in his realm, all the other villains. And if you're a really good villain and follow his Dr. Mobius's law, then you might be lucky enough to be appointed an over-governor of an area and get to rule a territory as you see fit. Now, Dr. Mobius, of course, doesn't really care about
promotion,
but his home world of Terra, the dimension that he comes from, because he's more interested in invading other realms. Dr. Mobius has invaded 10 realms by the time they get to present day core Earth. But you're going to be somewhere around the 7th Empire. Decades ago, right? Is essentially when we're starting. So you're in Dr. Mobius's 7th Empire. He's invaded, and the invasion's going as planned for him, and he's taking over the dimension, and he's got his minions roaming the that version of Earth. You have once again been reborn, and you've realized as the invasion of this realm has proceeded, and you've done some investigation on yourself and your transformation, that you've actually lived other lives, and you're a reincarnation, and you've existed in some of Dr. Mobius's previous invasions, and his minions have managed to kill you in one way or another. And so you get these flashbacks of these other lives and these other realms. So in this incarnation, you've made progress, more progress than in some of your other previous lives, right? In this life, you've had a chance to regain some of those memories and flashbacks and visions of your previous lives, and you've managed to piece together some of the puzzle that you've been cursed to be reborn because you're stuck in this conflict with one of Dr. Mobius's minions. You've realized that there's a book that you're after, a book of life or book of light or something like that, from Ra's tomb, and or a temple of Ra or something like that, and you actually don't even know about this Ra or temple of Ra in this iteration of this Earth. It never had those kind of things, but when Mobius invades and reality transforms, a Egyptian empire erupts, and then inevitably there's some variation of this temple of Ra that can be located somewhere as part of your search. You go at some, there must be this temple or this tomb or something dedicated to this Ra, or another version or name of Ra, right? And so part of these passages that you can remember from some of your previous lives, as you've been there's a portion in there about you needing to ally yourself with darkness in order to progress in your rebirth, or being allying yourself with the darkness and allowing you to be reborn in a new light, kind of thing, right? Once you have accepted the darkness, kind of thing. You get these flashes of this book, and the book's different. You've been in you get a previous life flashback where you're in a temple, and the book is actually just some scrolls, or in a version it'll be like a text tomb, and another one it'll be like a sealed lock. You know how some books have latches on them and you need keys to get into them, and so there's these different books, and the books are really similar. They're a lot of the passages read the same from one version to another, but there's always an inconsistency. And it's you've been starting to figure out that these inconsistencies might be the key to freeing yourself of this curse. You and your partner here, we've got Remington Magnum. You've had an association with a couple of heroes in this world, and you've been battling Dr. Mobius's minions, and you've been on the search for this temple, and your buddy here, Remington Magnum, has discovered some texts in your research about the location of.
I'm a private eye by night and a shadow-wielding superhero by even later night.
You guys have managed to, get some evidence or some, leads or whatever to find this temple that might contain this book of secrets for you. So you guys have been essentially traveling deserts of your world, for a couple of weeks now, finding small towns that might have a lead to the location of this, because there's people that might have cited some, new structure rising out of the desert, or, some oasis that, they speculated that's never been there before, kind of thing. So you're searching out these mysteries, and you've had another member of your crew who has given up because the search has taken so long. So there were 3 of you, and now there's just the 2 of you left. Finally located it. You have managed to find a guide in a little kind of Bedouin tent community, travelers and traders of the desert, and you find a guide who, they were talking about passing some strange temple on their travels. So you managed to pay one of them to be your guide, and you get near the location. Of course, he points it out in the distance, and off he goes. He doesn't want to go the rest of the way. He takes his payment and goes back. You guys have found this temple finally in the middle of the desert, and your guide has run off. You guys entered. The first thing you come across is the first chamber there. So with all the pillars here, it's a big empty room with stone doors on the other side. It looks pretty desolate and empty, and been sitting here for centuries in the desert. It's got the entrance here has got the rubble and all the sand from the desert is blown in and blown into the entrance, and spilled into the front. You're in the first chamber, and there's the sealed door in front of you, and the room's pretty barren, and you manage to get inside just as the winds of the desert start picking up.
Anything out of the ordinary? I would like to just make a fine check if I need to. Otherwise, just taking a look around.
Okay. The private dick is now investigating the area.
I make a fine check of 13.
Looking around, you notice that, like I said, the sand was sort of spilling in from the desert, and you're looking around, and you realize that someone's been here recently. There's imprints in the sand, and some of the dust has been disturbed.
Well, he definitely went this way.
And they leads up towards the door and then disappear behind the door. The stone.
Looks like you're gonna have to tuck those wings in, kid. I'm gonna have to try and say these lines without laughing, but all right, well, yeah. So I'm gonna proceed with caution with my flashlight and my Webley. Out of the holster it comes. Yeah, well, I have evidence analysis, but language is like reading those squiggly lines and dancing people just ain't my forte. It's getting better. 15 on evidence analysis. I made a good detective.
All right, well, according to the hieroglyphs written around the door, So you read the hieroglyphs with your amazing roll, and it says, when Ra is shadowed by Khonsu, turn back time and light your way. And you notice on the door there is a dial, and the dial seems to be set up with stages of an eclipse. So you have, of course, like a crescent eclipse and a half eclipse.
I have, of course, been mumbling my translation of the door out loud as I go. Ra, turn back. This one is, I think, time. Not too sure here. So yeah, I kind of stumble through the translation. Language is not my thing, but I've managed to do it through understanding squiggle line reads over
pictogram.
So I'm relaying this information to you as well as we go. I'm not just keeping it up. I'm proud enough to know I need help from time to time. We are a team. So I don't know. Maybe we play with the dial and light our way.
Well, you got your big evidence analysis.
I
you
do.
did your translation. You figure out the dials on the door, and you set it to shadow, and then click it back and do the reverse eclipse until Ra appears on the dial, and you stop it, and you hear a click, and the door lifts up. Yeah, you wander into your first chamber.
Just like to express at this point, not that I should have to, but that we are taking our time walking and are assumed to be looking for traps. As this isn't my first tomb walk, I would like to be studying my environment.
Yeah, you guys go wandering into your first area here, and you notice that some sort of trap has been triggered in this room, and a crushing boulder has fallen from the ceiling and smashed into the center of the room. Looks as though something has been crushed underneath. There is some rubble, but it's not a person, it's
something.
Wood. Yeah, it's something. Wood and cloth kind of thing.
I suppose I could make another evidence analysis roll and see if I can figure out what it was, but I'm not sure how relevant it is. It's pretty destroyed. What the hell? I'll take a quick evidence analysis. What's it gonna hurt? What? This time it looks like it's some cloth and wood. My great big combined total of a 6.
Yeah, yeah, something definitely got crushed here. No idea. You got evidence analysis or find or any skills
I have
like
find.
that?
I have find.
You have find. You can roll a find roll.
I didn't really look at the character sheet at all. I actually really kind of love it. Gives you a
8.
Yes. Find is 8.
Find is 8.
She found some more cloth and wood with me.
Yeah.
We've definitely found some cloth and wood and discovered it's cloth and wood.
Well, yeah, you've discovered that a trap has definitely been set off here by something that's been crushed underneath. It's not a person. Some sort of object. Could have been anything.
I don't know. I'm not sure how much time I want to spend on crushed sticks and cloth, but I'll definitely do a loop around it.
Yeah, well, you can, 3 ways to go in this temple here. No direction that you can find of telling you which way to go, but of course, you're supposed to only be able to see the clear sparks.
Yeah, no, fog of war. No, I understand. I like your fog of war. You've given me 3 directions and they're lit up. But while I'm walking around, I did evidence analysis on that. I just want to make a fine check for, looking at the walls in the room, looking at the ceilings, just going to give a general fine check for that room before we figure out what direction we're headed.
Okay.
11 for my general find. there doesn't have to be stuff. I'm just seeing.
Yeah. This passageway here ends at a door. And it's once again it's been sealed up. It looks like this door has been like closed recently. That it's not that it it's disturbed the way that all the dust has been pushed up, and at the bottom of the door suggests that this door has been open for a while and it's been.
Is it like a similar disturbed dust pattern to say like the giant dropped thing in the other room? Or does that thing look like it maybe hasn't been done recently, but was...
Well, the trap, it looks like it's been done recently, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the trap,
Did the door behind us, the other door close behind us, or is it still open?
Behind has not closed yet. It's still open.
Well, closed door. There doesn't seem to be any obvious signs of how to open it. Like, just, it seems to be like a big stone tomb.
Yeah.
Like,
dead end, but it wasn't a dead end. You can tell because of all the...
I'm just going to give a quick little look around, see if there's anything not obvious. If there's not, I'm just going to maybe assume that the trap and the shutting of the door have some kind of relation to each other, and there are other directions to check.
So, yeah, it's which way do you want to go?
One direction's as good as another. You want me to flip a coin?
You're the star, Tina.
Let's go that way.
You're going west, are you? All right. So yes, it breaks off into a north-south direction. Where which way do you want to go from here? And it's getting much darker this way because the light coming in through here and beaming on the crushed rubble here sort of depreciates down at the end of the hall and at the corners here. So. You're with your flashlight.
Do I have a flashlight too?
Sure.
Why not?
So at this point, we're going to do like -2 penalties for darkness.
For darkness, yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, are we going north or south?
I picked last time.
Oh, let's go north then. Maybe we'll find a way around to where that door is.
So yeah, you come to the corner.
Wait, before we go... Is there any evidence of recent travel in this corridor before we choose a direction? Not today.
You come into a chamber and it is full of...
Very cautiously, though, of course. If I get to the doorway, I'm not just gonna, strut right into the middle of the open chamber. But, yeah. What's in our chamber? That we explore safely from the doorway.
It is full of sarcophagi.
Oh, grand.
Yeah, there as
What's the clearance in here, height-wise?
It's a large room. It's got quite the ceiling on it. So yes, there are 6 sarcophagi in here. 2 rows of 3 each laid across.
2 rows of 3 each. Well. I'm not in a big hurry to, start cracking open sarcophagus and start looking inside them, but I will like to start cautious with a find check before I proceed into this. I want to see maybe if there's, if all the sarcophagus are covered with dust, if maybe one of them has had the dust disturbed on it recently, has it vibrated?
This room looks undisturbed.
Is it dusty? Or would there be?
Oh yeah.
Do I make a footprint?
Yes.
And there do not seem to be footprints.
Correct.
And there's a bunch
the
of
cobwebs here, like you noticed in the chamber there where the door was closed there. That it was pretty clean, but as you go back in this area, there's cobwebs you have to, break through.
I don't want to, but I'm going to have to investigate the sarcophagus. Sarcophagi. Just not my day.
No? How about you, Tina? Can you find anything?
Not her day
No.
either.
No.
No, we just stumble around looking at stuff.
All right. So, yeah, you said you were gonna open one of the sarcophagi, then, were you?
No, I don't want to. We can always come back to this chamber. It's best not to disturb the dead unless we have to. There's 2 other exits from this room. Let's just carry on.
All right.
I didn't find anything. Dawn didn't find anything. Let's just continue to investigate.
North or west?
You're up again.
North.
North? Okay. You guys come to a door here. But there's a lever for it.
What? I am a born lever puller.
Okay,
But
good.
I am still cautiously checking for traps, which should be
Fine roll.
find roll for traps. Otherwise, well, find roll for investigation. Otherwise, the other rolls don't happen until you're about to lose your hand. Or whatever. See, I didn't look this time. It was good. I get a 12 on my find roll.
Ugh. You're going to have to make a dodge roll.
Oh, poo. My find roll wasn't high enough, eh? That's alright, actually. I'm totally okay with the dodge roll.
All right.
Oh, so good with the dodge roll. My dodge is coming up at a 19.
You trigger a pit trap. Floor collapses beneath you. You manage to, scurry to the edge before you fall in.
So I wasn't able to spot the trap, is what you're telling me. And while trying to find the trap, I activated said trap.
Yes.
Because the trap master's a big jerk.
Yeah. Pit trap.
I was certainly close. Call.
Dead
Black
people.
water down at the bottom with, a couple of skulls bobbing at the top of the water.
I don't think we can go this way.
I'm not that thirsty yet. Looks like we're going a different way.
Well, she can't fly.
Well, she could
But
fly.
is there a
but
door?
then
And
she-
there's a door over there?
No, it's a passage. It's an open passage.
Oh.
Yes, you could go investigate. I could wait here and stay with the creepy sarcophagus.
I think we should just go a different way.
Gonna go a different way?
Yeah, let's just take that other exit from the sarcophagus room.
Yeah, as you're looking down, you can see the water is kind of rippling. There's something moving down there.
Just falling into stagnant, dead body water.
There's just something about that.
I think it's unhealthy regardless of whether or not it has a creature or is acidic in nature. You know what? Just knock a little pebble
Alright.
off. Just to see. Yeah, it seems like death water. So yeah, let's go a different way.
So you head back this way into the room,
Yeah.
and
I'm gonna investigate the sarcophagi.
you're gonna investigate the sarcophagus.
Or find.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what I
Investigate.
can
That's.
find.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not happening
It's
today.
not happening today.
Oh.
Her find
Two.
roll is a 1. Like not a negative.
my.
It's just it's not.
Okay.
She didn't roll a 1. It just would have equaled a 1.
Right. So you're checking out the sarcophagus, and you're trying to, investigate, maybe some of the writing on it, or how sealed it is, or what's this? And as you're, leaning over it, you trigger something. You can hear a click, and the lids just slide off, and out of the 6 sarcophagi
Is she
rise.
activating a trap?
Yeah, well, 4 mummies sit up out of their sarcophagi.
She should still get a regular roll out of that as traps work, because the roll doesn't happen to avoid the trap. She gets whatever whatever the 2 skill choices are there.
Yeah.
For that
so
trap.
we'll give her. Well, she failed to find.
She failed to notice it, but now that there's still a trap activation here. She still gets a test.
Yeah.
What were her 2 choices for the trap, though? Find and
scholar, I guess.
Find and scholar? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, there's no scholar coming out of either one of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, I misread a thing. So yeah, I don't have a backup for you. You've activated our zombie or our mummy trap.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get some mummy trap.
Yeah, rising up out of the sarcophagi 4 are mummies. So out of the 6, well, maybe 2 are.
Still
I don't know if they're empty or still asleep exactly.
I have an alertness card.
You can play it whenever you want.
Yeah.
I always have something to give for an alertness card.
I know, but yeah, sometimes they're not always like the most useful in the situation, but we certainly notice something while the ogre is chewing on my brains or something. But yeah,
to be played out of your hand at the start of an ambush.
It kind of
prevent
is
the
ambushing.
heroes from being surprised.
Are we gonna be flat-footed?
No.
Be caught flat-footed?
No.
So no, at this point, for that purpose, that's not gonna help us.
Okay.
Maybe after we've taken care of the situation, and since we both failed our fines, if you played it after, you could be like, you know what? Do we notice anything? Now that the dust has settled down after the conflict, what's new?
So, yeah, I guess we're going to have a fight with some mummies.
Okay, so now I just had my cards all splayed out, but now we're in a combat situation, so we can't play cards out of our hand. I don't want to, but I'm going to have to investigate the sarcophagus. Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi?
That's French.
Sarcophagi. Oh, we're so funny. So it's alright, we're French, it's allowed.